So the Westgate Mall, let's just talk about this picture first of all. It was the most terrifying events that unfolded, and actually some really powerful images that were captured there.
Absolutely. I think one of the things that really hit us all about Westgate was that it was a Saturday morning. Anyone could have been there. We all go shopping, we all go there with our families. People take their children. In the photograph as well, there are a couple of people who are hiding underneath that desk in the background. And I kind of wonder what happened to them. The little girl will forever be an iconic image to us. But after the Mumbai attacks, I think, Westgate reminded us all that it can happen anywhere, that some lunatics who've decided that they want to terrorise people can come and get us wherever we are.
And I was sent to cover that. I happened to be in Kenya at the time, and I went to the mall. You're just talking. It was the banality of people just doing their kind of regular Saturday morning thing, never thinking anything that they were going into any kind of hostile environment, and then that happens. And I think some of the images from there really capture it. I think the next picture we can bring up is the Rana Plaza, and again, a very powerful image.
Yeah. One of the things I think about Rana Plaza was that it really brought home to many of us the fact that we've all got very used to going to get our £2 T-shirts, our cheap socks and everything. And we've got very used to that sort of deflationary element of our retail supply chain. And as we saw in the horse meat scandal, but much more tragically, as we saw in Rana Plaza, us pushing the prices down of what we want to buy in the Western world do have an effect. We have an effect. There are people who are working under dreadful conditions. And it really brought a lot of things to our minds as consumers, but it's also created a huge amount of change in the retail industry, with a lot of the retailers now having to take a lot more care over their supply chain and be a lot more aware of the fact that the decisions that they take or the contracts that they sign have effects that bring sadness to eyes of a child like that.
And actually, just technically, the kind of the way that photograph is composed, the boy's eyes absolutely beautifully in focus, but the picture he's holding of his missing sister, sort of slightly defocused, makes it a very, very effective image. Well, let us bring in one other picture now. I want to bring in another guest, and that is Ian Lloyd, who is a royal photographer. And I think, Ian, you're in our Oxford studio, and what we're looking at now is your photograph that was taken when they emerged from the hospital. I would imagine that is a high-stress moment for you, because that is the moment you have to perform.
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, it was stressed in the sense that we knew at the beginning of the year, obviously, that Kate was pregnant and the baby would be born in the summer, but we didn't know when. There was all these reports that it was the end of June, I mean, like Kate, I had a bag packed by the door ready to go sort of thing. But some photographers were out there from the 1st of July and kept coming back every day, and sometimes it was intensely hot. And then there was this build-up, and you don't know what exactly you're going to get. I mean, traditionally, you get the car holding back for a few seconds, and then Diana and Charles coming down the steps, getting in the car. You've got a matter of a few seconds. William and Kate were great, actually, because they gave us time. I remember that. But it was fascinating to be in a place where you knew all the eyes of the world were on that one place at that one time.
What is the point of having 80, 100, I don't know how many photographers were out there on their ladders, camped out for days? When couldn't you just organise it that there'll be a photographer on a rotor who will stand outside there, I'll take this photo and we'll syndicate it to everyone?
Do you know, the fascinating thing about photography is that you can think about the event for months and so on, but the image might not be that one. The guy standing in front of them on his own might not get that image that everybody wants. Everybody needs to be there, because sometimes, an odd thing can happen. I mean, in my case, I only went on the day, and I happened to get an image of them looking up the hill where I was. But the royal wedding, everybody wants the kiss on the balcony, but it might not be that image. We never quite know until the event unfolds, what that image is going to be, I think.
Okay, then you get the kind of things that you don't anticipate. I want to bring up the next image, if we might, which I'm hoping will be the selfie taken, there we are, in the middle screen behind me there, the selfie taken of at the memorial service at the FMB Stadium in Soweto. That is such a brilliant picture, isn't it?
Yeah, amazing. I mean, it's an extraordinary photograph, and just that moment with Michelle looking particularly upset. And apparently she wasn't looking very upset the second after and the second before, but she doesn't look happy at all. And I think it was just testament to the entire event that it was these rather more amusing stories that captured our imagination rather than the actual funeral itself.
And that, of course, is where you prepare for the big event, Ian, but also you have to look around for the unexpected.
Absolutely, yes. I remember a picture from years ago of the singer Tommy Steele. It was his wedding, and on this photograph, captioned Tommy Steele's wedding, you don't see the couple, but all you see is the crowd and the police straining to hold back the crowd and people trying to see it. And that was the image of that day, you know. So it is, that's what's fascinating about photography. You would imagine Mandela's funeral as somebody sobbing their heart out, either a friend or a relation or somebody in the crowd.